Okay, here we are at Seastone 63 at the Celia Springs, and let's just go ahead and read it. The penultimate Seastone. Seastone 63, crushed by doubt. Our mark is an Adamantortoise, which is basically another version of the Adamantoise, or Adamantus. I think it's supposed to be a little bit more difficult. I'm not positive about that though, but it has the same drops and everything as the Adamantus, so no worries. Anyway, I've been given the focus of eliminating a stampeding Adamantortoise in the eastern tours of the Archalp Steppe. It seems someone enraged the beast by attacking its young, and the foul sea wish it dead. Interesting. I understand the danger it poses, but is violence the only solution? I would be enraged if someone attacked my child. It just seems so wrong. I think we're supposed to think that these guys are majestic or something. Maybe because, for one thing, they don't really attack unless instigated. But another thing is, remember the last Seastone, the one that had us target an adamantulid, also expressed remorse at that prospect. Anyway, so do you remember how we got a trapezohedron? We went to Eden specifically to grind one trapezohedron from the Adamantus there. That was so we could upgrade Fang's weapon to tier 3, because we're actually going to... that will be useful against the Adamantortoise and farming against all the other types of turtles. I have a sneaking suspicion that when we go back to the Archalp Steppe, that maybe when it reloads, that's when all the turtles get replaced. So anyway, I will meet you in that general vicinity momentarily, and we shall see for ourselves. Okay, and here we are in the middle of the tortoise nest, and right ahead of us is an Adamantortoise. As you can see, it looks like all the turtles have been replaced, because this is probably a Shaolong Guis if I had to guess. And it looks like these ones are a little bit more aggressive. They have like the huge packs on their back, and they actually roar at you when you get close. But we shall take them on at a different time. But we will have to be fighting plenty of them. For now, it's the Adamantortoise. And I'll go ahead and run into him, so we'll get to see Fang tossed off her chocobo. She looked like she would have landed hard, but she landed on her feet. Good old Fang. Alright, so... oh shit, we're right next to it. Let me show you my setup real quick. Our setup is basically the exact same thing that we used to farm the Adamantuses, or, the Adamantus in Eden. So, yeah, Convalescence, Try Disaster, Discretion, Espionage, Aggression. The only difference is our equipment. As you can see, I did upgrade Fang's Venus Gospel to Tier 3 Cain's Lance. And by the way, Tier 2 weapons always upgrade to the same Tier 3 weapon. However, they do have different attributes depending on what weapon they upgraded from. All three of my ladies have a maxed out Gaian ring. Fang has 2 maxed out power gloves and a maxed out weirding glyph. Vanille has 3 maxed out weirding glyphs. And Lightning, I gave 2 power gloves and a weirding glyph. And I had to make another power glove for that, by the way. However, despite the slightly changed equipment... oh, by the way, look at the strength stat on Fang now. Let's see, Lightning's is 244. Fang's is 3391. So yeah, Fang can kick some major ass now. But better to show than tell, right? Alright, so like I said, this strategy is the same thing that we did before. Man, Fang's weapon looks cool. Cast Haste and Protect Ra on everyone. All 3 girls.
Don't back down.
And that stomp didn't do as much damage as I thought it was going to, so we may be okay.
Here you go.
And then once that's done, cast Brave Ra on Fang. Then switch to Try Disaster. At this point, you want to cast Thunder on one of the forelegs, because Thunder is the fastest chaining spell. Let's use a Lever Scope. And then do that one more time on the left foreleg. And then switch to Discretion. And do High Wind. And it should instantly kill it. Oh shit, it didn't though, did it? Well, that's not good. How much HP does this thing have? Oh, we can take that easily. Maybe, eventually. So apparently I need to build the stagger gauge up a little bit more. I could probably switch to aggression and take this thing out faster, but I'm afraid to get out of this paradigm. Alright, and there goes the left foreleg. That's not what I wanted to do. Now cast a couple spells of Ruin on the right foreleg so your allies know what you're targeting. Then switch back to Try Disaster. And cast Thunder on the right foreleg a bunch. For 2 full rounds, remember. And remember, Fang can't stagger an enemy, so just be wary of that. Alright, I'm going to do it one more time since that didn't work so well for us last time. Shit, that hurt. Alright, now let's switch to Discretion and do High Wind. Boom. That still didn't kill it, are you kidding me? Maybe I should do it for 3 full rounds. Alright, let's do Aggression. And just go all out on this this thing. Hopefully it gives us a long target time. So yeah, make sure you do like 3 full rounds of Thunder. Almost did. Okay. Then, once both forelegs are down, switch to Espionage.
Could have been worse.
That's when you want to cast Brave Ra on, or Haste and Brave Ra on Fang and Lightning, and Haste and Faith Ra on Vanille. Haste Brave Ra. Brave Ra and Haste on Lightning. And Haste and Faith Ra on Vanille. Then switch back to Try Disaster. And just chain a bunch of Thunder spells on it. Oh yeah, make sure that all 3 of those debuffs you see there get on it. So I'm going to do a couple more rounds just because I don't feel safe doing this anymore. Build up the chain gauge, and then switch to Aggression. Now it's time to hopefully take this thing out. You want to try to get 3 full rounds of attacks in. And if it gets back up before you're done attacking, just switch to, or use High Wind. And we got 5 stars. I think what went wrong there might have been we didn't have a Genji glove, so that might have helped a little bit. But no matter, we got 5 stars. The target time was 8 minutes and 8 seconds. Battle duration was 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So neat. And we got a Platinum Ingot. I think the drop rates for Trapezohedrons and Platinum Ingots are the same for Adamantortoises. However, the Adamantus and Eden is still the most effective way. So we get another Genji glove, so if we wanted to, we could equip all 3 of our party members and make them all capable of breaking the damage limit, but there's no point to that. And we earned the rank of Adamantine Crusader. Nice! And we got a data log update. That's probably an Analect. Let's see what it says. Which one is next? Analect 11. Hypothesis of the Hunt. We've long held the goal of the fallacy's endless excavations to be the expansion of our world's inhabitable space, creation of new lands with which to honor the gods. But I contend this to be false. Their methods lack the order one would expect if that were their purpose, and what's more, the gods they would honor have long since departed this world, the Maker. I propose a different explanation. The fallacy are hunting. Whether they seek a way to recall the gods or to journey to their side, I cannot say, but I do believe the fallacies seek their lost deities. They search the earth, the skies, the waters, and even the deep places, seeking a gateway to the divine, on the nature of fallacy. Well, I could have told you that, but at least someone had the sense to figure that out. So what, are we missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? We're just missing Analect 13 now, and I bet that'll come when we defeat this final, whatchamacallit, mark. Adamantortoise. Left foreleg, right foreleg. So let's look at the differences here. Oh, it has a different shaped shell, it looks like. Okay. Alright, so now that we've done that, we're going to fight a Shaolong Guis, which is a new enemy. Let's see, where are they? I'm assuming this is a Shaolong Guis. I'm just going to get in a battle real quick to make sure we're fighting the right thing. You have to get so close to it. This is a... Shit, it's huge.
Not our lucky day.
And it opens with Ultima. How am I supposed to see what this thing is? Oh wait, I could just do a left foreleg, right foreleg. Oh, this is a Long Guis. Okay, we don't want to fight this guy yet. A Long Guis is basically the toughest enemy in the game. Or at least to my understanding. What we need to do is find a Shaolong Guis. Maybe that's one over there? I really don't know the differences. I thought that they would be a lot bigger, but... This one kind of looks like it might be a Long Guis too. So all the Adamantortoises have been replaced with Shaolong Guis, and all the Adamantortoises have been replaced with Long Guis. This looks like it's probably another Long Guis.
Keep
Yep.
a cool head, and we'll nail this.
Well, I like Fang's inspirational speech, though. Alright, guy, get out of the way. I need to find a Shaolong Guis. Alright, that looks like a Adamantortoise, but I think Adamantortoises might be gone forever. Actually, except for the ones in Eden, of course. If there are any left. Hey, slow down, big guy. So these are like the well-bred turtles, I guess. Who knows? Okay, so this Shaolong Guis fight is actually really tough. You gotta be on your toes and work as quickly as possible. You start out in Triple Sentinel to defend against Ultima. Anytime it looks like it's going to use Ultima, you'll want to immediately go back and do that. So let's cast Haste on everyone. Lightning will probably get Haste on herself and Fang, so you can just cast it on Vanille. Then switch to Safe Subversion, which has 2 Saboteurs and a Medic. And you want to try to stick slow on this guy. Slow, 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 slow. You also want to get Deprotect, De-Shell, and Imperil on him, but focus on slow, and if you get lucky, Vanille might get the others on. Alright, so there's Imperil, so let's do Deprotect and De-Shell. There's Deprotect, so that just leaves De-Shell. Alright, once all 4 are in place, switch back to Recuperation. You're going to want to put Bravera, Phaethra, and Shell on Fang and Lightning. So let's do Bravera, Phaethra on Fang, and Bravera and Phaethra on Lightning. And then, what is it? Oh, Shelra
This is the real deal.
on both girls as well. Shit.
Here you go.
Meanwhile, Vanille's keeping us healed. So now we just wait. I'll go ahead and put Protectora on myself. And then once all those are in place, you want to Libra this guy. So you'll know its elemental weaknesses, and Lightning will cast in Fire. Let's see, what buffs did I lose? I can't tell. Lightning's dazed. Foul Liquid. Oh, she fixed it. I can't believe it already used Bay. Normally it takes a little longer. Alright, so we got all those. So switch back to... now you're going to switch to Tri-Disaster and go on the offensive with just trying to stagger it. Here we go. Alright, before you stagger it, you want to switch to Discretion to try to stabilize the chain gauge.
Thank you. Stay calm.
And you'll get healed while you're doing that. Then switch back to Try Disaster. That way the stagger will last longer. Build up the chain gauge a little bit, and then switch to Cerberus to go on the offensive. Just do a bunch of attacks. And just watch out for Ultima and Bay, because they will just wreck your shit. It really comes down to sort of luck, because it all comes down to the timing of its Bay attack. But I think we've almost got it this time. And it's dead. Ah, yes. Okay, so we've got 5 stars. The target time was 10:58, but it only took 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and we get 120,000 CP for it. That's the most CP any single enemy drops in the game. So if you can get it to where you can defeat the Shaolong Guis every time, this is the best way to get CP. However, I found that it took me like 5 or 6 times before I was able to kill this guy. So you might be better off just grinding the 80,000 CP against the Adamantus that you know you can beat pretty much every time. So yeah, and we get a golden nugget. Let's see what the drops are on this guy. It is a Shaolong Guis, right? Yes. Okay. And they have a 25% chance of dropping a gold nugget and a 5% chance of dropping a dark matter. Like I said, Shaolong Guis are the best sources of both CP and dark matter. You're going to need around 15 dark matters to complete the game, or to get the treasure hunter trophy, because there's accessories and weapons that need dark matter to upgrade. So at this point, I think I'm going to continue farming Shaolong Guis until I've completed the Crystarium and have around 15 dark matters. Okay, and I can't remember if I said this or not, but in case you're wondering, the easiest way to grind against the Shaolong Guis, if you're looking for more dark matter anyway, is to take out the 3 that are on in this nest here, run out of the nest. Let me just show you. Actually, I'll just fast forward to what I'm talking about, but you're going to run out of the nest and hang a right. Eventually you'll come to this little short cliff wall. Jump up, there's another Shaolong Guis here, take it out, then jump back down and run back to the nest, and the 3 Shaolong Guis that were there will have respawned. So that's how you do that. But now it's time to talk about taking out what may be the game's toughest enemy. It's either that, or it's debated whether it's that or Mark 64. But yeah, I'm talking about the Long Guis. So let me just demonstrate this. I practiced to make sure I was capable of doing this, since this is one of the hardest enemies. But you can do it with some practice. I actually found them easier than the Shaolong Guis. So here we go. It just takes some time. You got to take out their legs twice. So use Steel Guard twice to defend against Ultima, and then switch to Recuperation. Oh, I should have shown you my setup. Well, I will after the battle. Then do Bravura, Haste, and Protectora on Thing. And you want to do Faithra on Thing as well. I meant to say Bravura, Faithra, and Haste. Bravura, Faithra, and Protectora, because Lightning will put Haste on. So then do Protectora and Faithra on the Neil and Lightning.
I gotta do everything?
Alright, so then once you do that, go ahead and switch to Safe Subversion. And you're going to want to put Deprotect and Imperil on one of the 4 legs. As soon as that happens, switch to Try Disaster. And then you're going to spam Thunder, since it's the quickest casting spell. And you want to stagger this guy. The first half of the battle is things stay relatively easy. But you want to get them up, the leg up to about 900% damage. Which can variates from the Shaolong Guis. We didn't have to get it that high. So then once it's up to 900%, use High Wind to take out the leg. Then, just like the Shaolong Guis, use Ruin, or the Adamantus, use Ruin a couple times to signify the right foreleg as your next target to the party. Then switch to Safe Subversion and do the whole Deprotect and Imperil thing on the leg again. Once you've got both debuffs on, use Try Disaster. But let's not forget that you have to get it up to 800%. Or 900% actually. Then switch to Discretion. This way you can, Vanille and Lightning can heal while you use High Wind to take out the leg. Then immediately switch to Safe Subversion. You want to try to stick slow on it before it falls, because it's one of the few buffs it's not immune to. But if that doesn't work, use Slow and Imperil to hopefully get those two debuffs on, while Vanille puts on Deprotected, De-Shell, and maybe Imperil. Alright, once all four of those debuffs are on, Vanille's going to start trying to stick poison. You want to give her at least one full round of turns to try to get poison on. It usually works, but sometimes you have to give her like 2. Okay, so once that's done, put Bravera and Faithra on Fang and Lightning. You might consider putting haste on too, but it's not necessary. And then just Faithra on Vanille. Then switch to Try Disaster. And begin trying to stagger it while it's down. It has a 700% stagger gauge, so it does take a little bit of doing. Then you want to get it up to 800%, but luckily when it staggers, it automatically goes to that. Now we're going to begin just chaining attacks. As you can see, its defense is so high that it really doesn't matter. Lightning and Fang aren't able to really inflict max damage each time like they were with the Adamantortoises and the Shaolong Guis. You want to keep an eye on the stagger gauge though, because you want to make sure that you're able to use High Wind before it goes all the way down. Alright, so as soon as this attack chain ends, I'm going to use High Wind. Here we go. Alright, so you saw that it was able to do all that damage. As soon as it gets up, switch back to Tortoise, because it will use that. And remember that you can use a foul liquid to get rid of any bad debuffs, the Daze debuff. Alright, once you've done that, you just want to start the whole process over. You're going to use Bravera, Haste, and Protectora on Fang. The reason I'm reapplying Haste is because Lightning won't do it because we already have it on. But it looks like it's running out at just the right time anyway. So let's put Faithra and Protectora on Vanille and Lightning. By the way, if you didn't notice, I have
Not a problem.
all the Tier 2 or Tier 3 weapons now. But I'll explain that later. I've already done the grinding here. Alright, so switch to Safe Subversion. Do Deprotect and Imperil on the leg again. Basically, we're just repeating the whole process now. Shit. I always switch to Tortoise whenever it uses Roar, because it's usually followed up by Ultimate. In this case, we're going to use Renew to heal up as quickly as we can, because it, like it just did, it switched to Ultimate. Okay, let's switch back to Safe Subversion. Lightning can heal herself. Also remember that Roar cancels out some of your buffs and debuffs.
Don't get predictable.
So let's make sure everything is back on where it needs to be. Faithra, Protectora. And Fang still has Bravera on, so we don't need to worry about that.
I gotta do everything?
I got Faithra on, but
Get with the
or
program.
Protectora on Vanille, but not Faithra. And Lightning. So yeah, whenever it uses Roar, it can really disrupt whatever you're trying to do at the time. Put the debuffs back on just to maintain this chain gauge, because it was about to run out there. And then we switch to Try Disaster, and like I said, go back to repeating the process. Just switching to Tortoise if it uses any of its attacks, like Quake or Roar, Ultima. Its stomps are just about the only thing that we can completely withstand without having to worry about healing. Alright, up to 900. And here comes Ultima. Boom. Wow. I'm so glad that Fang has that maintain 1 HP ability right now. But luckily they all survived, so I switched to Discretion instead of Cerberus so Vanille and Lightning can heal. And then use Ruin a couple times on the other leg. Now that we're back in good condition, I'll switch back to Safe Subversion to make sure Deprotect and Imperil are on the right foreleg. Switch back to Try Disaster and do a round of Thunder. It's just a little bit frightening. It's like playing with lightning. Oh, it sucks so bad that Fang can't stagger with her weapon. Oh well. This is one of the few instances where that can be annoying. Switch back to discretion. Shit, roar. Oh shit. Oh, here comes Ultima. Shit. Oh shit. Wow. Alright, let's use a Phoenix down immediately. Phoenix down. Phoenix down. As you can see, I'm running short. Make sure you have a healthy supply of them. Switch to discretion. I don't know if this will kill it, but we have to try. Oh, so close. Don't kill Fang. Phew, that was close. Come on, girl. Alright, how much HP does it have? 32, 540? Alright, we're gonna need to put the buffs back on.
Time for a change. Thank you.
Let's do Bravera, Faithra, Protectra,
What a pain.
and then do Protectra and Faithra. Yeah, see, if depending on when this battle can come down to a lot of luck, such as when it times its attacks.
Over here.
Boom. Switch back to recuperation to get those buffs back on.
I gotta do everything?
Yeah, you do, Fang. Actually, Vanille does the healing.
Not a problem. Thank you. Done sweating.
Alright, and then we'll switch to this and target the right foreleg. It's so annoying that it has just so little HP left, but we're not yet. It's so strong that we have to, like, we can't rely on. Yeah, there you go. Okay. On the second time it falls, it's not really necessary to put slow on, but the other debuffs are slow or poison, but the other debuffs aren't necessary. You only want to put poison back on it if it didn't connect the first during the first time it fell. So, yeah. Otherwise, it shouldn't be an issue. So let's put Bravera and Haste on Fang, and Lightning as well,
Get with the program. Done sweating.
and then Haste and Faithra on Vanille. And then we're gonna stagger it. We've got this battle in the bag now. One more round of spells ought to do it, I think. Okay, boom. Oh, I didn't really need to keep chaining spells, but I did anyway. Put a few attacks on it. And then, once its HP gets down to around here, you can probably feel comfortable finishing it off with a high wind. Oh shit. Or not. But, no matter, because it's so close to dying anyway. It has 65,945 HP left. Finish it off, girls. There we go. Alright, so
Ready for the next
that battle didn't go as smoothly as I would have liked it to, but that's just an example of how things can go wrong. But we still won, is the important thing. And you get 100,000 CP for defeating it, which is nice. Alright, so like I said before, Long Guis are the best way to grind trapezohedrons. However, I found out while I was doing all this grinding, I did a bunch of grinding between showing you guys the Shaolong Guis and the Long Guis battles. It's better to grind for trapezohedrons against the Adamantis and Eden, simply because you're probably going to grind up the 6 trapezohedrons you need long before you grind up all the gil you're going to need to do the upgrades on your accessories and weapons. Because remember, the Treasure Hunter trophy requires you to have owned every accessory and weapon at some point in the game, and that includes accessories and weapons that you can only get by upgrading. So, with that said, off camera, I was able to completely grind up all the weapons and accessories in the game. So everybody is on their tier 3 weapons now, and all we have in my inventory really is upgraded tier 2 weapons. And here's all the accessories too. I'll categorize. Yeah, here we go. And before I get too carried away, I should show you the setup for the Long Guis. Here's the paradigms. Tortoise, Recuperation, Sape Subversion, Try Disaster, Cerberus, and Discretion. They're all necessary. And the equipment. Everybody has their tier 3 weapons. It's okay if only Fang has her maxed out tier 3 weapon. Just make sure that the other 2 girls have their maxed out tier 2 weapon, or at the very least a level 1 tier 3 weapon. So as far as accessories go, I gave them a maxed out Gaian Ring, Power Glove, Kaiser Knuckles, and Genji Glove to Fang. It doesn't matter if the Genji Glove's maxed out or not. Ideally, if you can replace the Power Gloves and Weirding Glyphs on these 3 girls with upgrade them to Kaiser Knuckles and Magistral Crests, that would be great, but I was able to do it without doing that, so yeah. So yeah, that's the strategy. If you want to know the best way to grind these up, or to farm Long Guis, it's to go and activate the Mission 54 Sea Stone for the Gigantoire, and then come and kill this Long Gui that I just killed. Go into the Turtle Nest, and over yonder, if Fang will ever run fast enough. Oh wait, I got turned around, didn't I? Oops. Let's go back. I thought that looked weird. Sorry about that. Whenever I'm running between place to place, it doesn't really seem like it takes that long, but when I'm recording, I feel like it takes forever. Probably because I'm conscious of how much time it's eaten up. But anyway, kill the Long Gui I just killed. Go over there and kill the other Long Gui just behind that cliff. Then, you want to hop up here to where we fought the Gigantoire. And if you've activated the Mission 54 Sea Stone, then when you get up here, the cutscene associated with the Gigantoire will play. So you can skip the cutscene, and then once you get into the battle, retry. And then you'll be back somewhere in this general vicinity, and the 2 Long Guis will have respawned. So yeah, that's the best way. So yeah, I hope I've been pretty clear, but if you have any questions on how to grind, feel free to keep asking. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I think the Long Gui battle alone took like 15 minutes to show you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Click the subscribe button if you liked what you saw. In the next episode, we will take on the final mark. Oh yeah, follow me on Twitter at TheScottSpot. We'll take on the final mark in the next episode, and it should, by all intents and purposes, be the very last episode. Again, thanks, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Next time, let's see. Made those turtles our bitch.